On this episode of The Edit, we talk to designer Helen Steele about her new leisurewear collection in Dunnes Stores. Plus, we have some great Valentine movie recommendations. The Edit, brought to you by Glam Doll, bringing Hollywood home. Hello and welcome to The Edit with me, Lisa Cannon. We are back every week in Glam Doll Studios, bringing Hollywood home. This week we're talking all things love as we edge closer to Valentine's Day. And what better way to treat yourself than with a look at Irish designer Helen Steele's new leisurewear collection from Dunnes Stores. That's definitely something you'll love. We're going to chat exclusively to Helen herself about her autumn-winter collection and working with pop singer Jessie J.
She'd broken her leg and she needed something that was easy to get in and out of.
We'll also be chatting with our resident film critic Gordon Hayden, who'll be discussing some of the best Valentine movies around, some oldies, goodies and newbies on offer. But first, let's preview the Muppets, who are taking up residence on Disney+. Get ready to sing along.
It's the Muppet Show with tonight's guest star, Mr. Joel Grey.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the light. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight.
It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to raise the curtain on the Muppet Show tonight. In our house, we use paper plates, and every night after dinner, my wife erases the dishes.
To introduce our guest star, that's what I'm here to do. So it really makes me happy to introduce to you.
The Muppets. Sure, I'm delighted about this, Gordon. You know, I'll be binge watching this now for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, this is classic Muppets.
I
And what's
know.
great about this particular series, you're getting the first 5 seasons of The Muppet Show. I never realised this, but the first 3 seasons were made available like on DVD. And before that, video, if anyone remembers.
Oh, I do remember this.
For the old
now,
vintage
yeah.
video. And then, but the seasons 4 and 5 were never available, which I always found intriguing. But now you can rewatch them. They were only when any TV station aired them again. That was your only way to see repeat viewing of them. But they were never available for home entertainment in terms of, as I mentioned, like DVD. So now you'll be able to get to see them on Disney+.
Well, the thing about it is, when you kind of cast your mind back to that time, I was a very young girl when they all came out, and I loved them. I mean, I was completely obsessed when I was small. So everything from Big Bird right through to Count Dracula was my cup of tea.
Yeah, the Count, was great.
The Count, yes,
Yeah,
the
the Count. Yeah, but like, what I think is great about the Muppets is, and especially, with Jim Henson at the helm, and you had other great puppeteers like Frank Oz who go on to control and operate Yoda. It's timeless. It really is. Like, there's some madcap characters in there like Gonzo and Fozzie Bear and then the Statler and Waldorf, my 2 favourites, the 2 grumpy elf fellas up in the gods. So there's so much there, and I think what's great about it as well is that the celebrities that are involved, who are their special guests, they're obviously in on the act, and it's a real badge of honour to be a special guest. Like, they've had some great ones like Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, Alice Cooper. There's some great guests in there, and it is so memorable, and it was so ahead of its time as well, which was brilliant. And it's just a great legacy to the late, great Jim Henson. So now you can binge all the Muppets
I can't
on Disney+.
wait, can't wait. Thank you very much, Disney+. Yeah, you're bringing me back to my childhood. But of course, we have something looming in the next few days. It is Valentine's Day. Gordon, tugging at your heartstrings, because I know how much you love rom-coms. What have you got for us today
Well,
for us to watch?
you set me a challenge of trying to pick out a few rom-coms.
Wait till you see what he's picked out.
I went a bit it's like I went on a dartboard. Just, I don't know. These are so random now. But the first one I went with was Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Accepted. I like that one.
Now, I went with this one because I know Richard Curtis can be very hit and miss for people, but this film, when it came out at the time, was a real gear change for the British film industry. It really, people have to forget, like there was one stage where the British film industry was on its knees before they had all this big American investment, with Harry Potter and Star Wars and all coming over to film in London. But anyway, this was such a mega hit, Four Weddings and a Funeral, and it made a star of Hugh Grant.
Of course. And,
was shot in the arm for Andy McDowell as well, and just an amazing cast in there. And it is very sweet, and it's heartbreaking as well. Stop all the clocks.
Indeed.
Or stop the clocks. Amazing, like that with the way John Hannah when he recites that poem in the church. So there's so much there.
It's beautiful, but it's really cheesy. Do
you think so?
The line, "It's raining," I hadn't noticed. Every time I'm like, I hate that line.
You know what? The thing is, yeah, I know what you mean, but at the same time, I think it's testament to a film. Even like say Jerry Maguire as an example. You had me at hello, and like that's another great. I should have thrown that in.
Should have thrown that one in.
But I haven't. But that's really good. But I think sometimes there's a line like that. Even though you go, oh God, it's cringy. But if the film is working, I don't think you pay too much attention to it. Look, maybe I'm a bit of a sap underneath it all, and it didn't really bother me at the time.
I knew I'd find your soft
Yeah. I didn't mind. So Four Weddings is my first one out of the traps. I picked 3, by the way. So the second one.
Wait till you need to be prepared for this, because I thought you would go with Sleepless in Seattle, Dirty Dancing. Think of all the legacy of rom-coms you could have gone for, but he goes for.
Well, this is not so much a rom-com. It's more of a
Certainly
drama, more of a romantic. Well, it's drama. It's Brokeback Mountain. Now, at the time, right, now bear with me on this, right? I just thought this story about these 2 gay cowboys. I went, how, Jake Gyllenhaal, Heath Ledger, are they going to work? Is the chemistry going to be there? And I have to say, I was blown apart by this. And at the I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the ending, oh my God, is heartbreaking.
It's a beautiful film.
It really is.
doesn't
Ang
speak.
Lee is the director. Did an amazing
Valentine's
job.
to me, though.
Oh, but it's such a love story. Because the thing about it as well is, see, at the time, right, Heath Ledger's character, well, I suppose now we hear different terms like pansexual. And like, the thing is, Heath Ledger's character in it is pansexual because the thing he's been fighting with, because he's going like, I'm not gay, but he loves Jake Gyllenhaal, and say at the time, and he's trying to fight it the whole time. He's kind of going, but I'm not gay, and then eventually, I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's just how much he eventually then starts to cop onto his feelings as well. It really essentially, but I loved it.
And I know people will be tuning in on their droves to watch Brokeback Mountain on Valentine's Day. Definitely. Gordon's like, yes, she will. And we have one other one, which actually this is a really gorgeous choice. So I'm going to let you off the hook of this one.
Yeah, I with this one, right, Judd Apatow, now, he became a brand in himself at one stage during the 2000s. And for Steve Carell, this again just catapulted him because the 4-Year-Old Virgin came out around the time The Office came out, the American version of it. So it just lightning struck for Steve Carell. And this is, I think, Judd Apatow, I would dare say his best film. I think it's his film that it has such a rewatchability, if that's a word. Yeah. And I just love it. And Seth Rogen is before he became a big star. And it's about Steve Carell. He's working in an electronics store, and he's a 40-year-old virgin, and it's about the guys that he works with. They band together and they try to teach him all about how to interact with women and about the best possible way to try and meet somebody. And they all think they're Casanovas. They all think they know how it should be done. And he's doing his best to try and learn from them, and it's invariably gets worse and worse and worse from. But it has a very sweet centre to it. And I think that's why it works. And again, I think it's one of Apatow's finest. I'd love Apatow to go back and make something like this again, but he seems content on, Trainwreck with Amy Schumer and that type of
he's
fare.
He's going down that avenue.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're actually really good recommendations. I thought the challenge, I thought you'd flounder, but actually you flourished.
Oh, that's all right.
No Sign of Love, actually, or, The Notebook, but that's okay. Some really good mixes there for everybody.
Yeah, I could. Oh, jeez, I wouldn't have the patience for those now. You're lucky to get those 3 out of
I'm
me.
really proud of you. Well done. And
Thanks
enjoy
very much.
Valentine's Day, of course, in the coming days ahead.
Lisa.
Thanks, Gordon. Next, she's a woman of steel who has been in the Irish fashion industry for over 25 years with stellar collections that are adored all over. With her autumn-winter leisure wear collection in Dunnes Stores now, she's a force to be reckoned with. I caught up with fashion designer Helen Steele to find out what her new line is all about and where her bright, bold, colourful inspiration comes from. Take a look. Well, Helen, that collection is absolutely stunning. The new one here from Dunnes, of course, available from everyone online and in stores. Now, Helen, in terms of your collection, you know, this is not your first rodeo with Dunnes Stores, but you constantly change the variables and you mix and match. What is it about working with Dunnes that is inspirational for you and also to reach the masses, us, to get your collections?
Well, that's it. It's to reach the masses. They're an incredible company to work with. I think they have done so much for Irish fashion in the last 10 years or more. And they are really interested about taking your own creative reins. And kind of, there's an amazing team I work with. There's a mixture of like marathon runners, iron women. There's an incredible team and a great graphic guy. I mean, I'm so incredibly lucky. There's a super other designer as well, and we all work as a team together, but we all get to try on, we're all different shapes and sizes. We all get to try on all the different garments. And that way you're kind of hitting every kind of target of customer. So you're really developing a much broader range than I would have by myself. So you're taking so much into consideration. The attention to detail is incredible. It's just an eye-opener. It's just bringing what I do to another level, and I'm so internally grateful for it. I really, really am.
Oh, good. I mean, we love snooping around, looking at your beautiful colours, because when you talk about, you know, your inspiration and what you bring to the table for your collections, to me, Helen Steele equals colour. I mean, I'm wearing one of your beautiful pieces today, which we'll talk about in just a sec, but going back to the Dunnes collection, it's all about a splash of colour, even like what you're wearing today. So what is it about colour that you like to see in your collection, and why do you draw so much colour to your collections?
Well, colours all around us, even though we live in the darkest, wettest part of the world, possibly.
Sure.
But there's still colour all around us. And I find colour in people and characters, in people's expressions. But also, I think on a whole other level, colour therapy is really important. And I think especially now it's important to surround ourselves with uplifting colours. I think that makes a huge difference to your mental well-being and to positivity, even creative expression, even your energy levels. So we really work hard to try and bring that into every element of design, both with what I do with Dunnes Stores, but also with my own mainline collection.
Oh, absolutely. Now let's talk about your mainline collection. I mean, look at this feature piece. I'm not going to stand up too much so everybody gets to a full block view, but this is a beautiful, beautiful feature piece that is a one-off, and you designed this with a brilliant young Irish artist as well.
Yeah, it was a collaboration with that hasn't been released. It's a collaboration with Macer, the graffiti artist. So we did kind of silk shirts, kind of Hawaiian kind of shirts, unisex shirts for men and women, and then we did some one-off dresses as well.
Which I'm sporting today, and the colour is definitely lifting me up to a higher ground on this wet wintry day. Look how dark I am and how bright you are. Let's talk about colour in a different way, because obviously your collections have really caught the attention, not only here in Ireland, the UK, but also further afield. And I think of you as kind of a rock and roll designer, and none better than Jessie J, who you designed for her, concert collections or her stage feature pieces. What's it like when you have that kind of recognition across the board with international singers, international models? Does it bring a different clientele to the table, I suppose?
Yes, it does bring a different clientele to the table, but at the same time, it's just people wearing your clothes. It does mean that, way more people, the masses get to see your clothes. I mean,
more eyeballs.
It's incredible marketing, but at the end of the day, that has to kind of make the numbers as well. So, and it does. But it's really important not to get kind of carried away by that. At the same time, it's amazing. And actually working with Jessie J was amazing, because it was my first time to work with, to really work with stretchy clothing and lycras and moisture wicking and that kind of thing in the creative process for Jessie J. I created stage outfits for her Australian tour, because she'd broken her leg and she needed something that was easy to get in and out of. So that was really interesting, working kind of on how the body moves and what you need to do for different stage performances. And so that was great fun. That was really
What was it like working with her? Because she seems like a really eclectic kind of musician that would be easygoing enough to allow you be creative around her. Was it a fun process?
I actually didn't get to meet her. It was her stylist, who was a stylist for Warner Brothers Music at the time. She introduced me to Jessie J, and she said, I didn't meet her face to face. And she said, look, this is a situation, we really like your work. We saw it in, there was a store in London called I Am the Village Bicycle.
I Am the Village Bicycle.
You couldn't make it up. And she saw my very first collection in there.
Okay.
And she asked me to create some kind of stage outfits for Jessie J for her tour. Yeah, so that was really great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And it's a great coup for you as well, just in terms of moving into that market, because we were talking there earlier about kind of, does it really give you a lot more recognition? But your daughter was really excited when she saw your coats in Glastonbury, obviously sported by a very particular person who we all know and love. So tell us about that story. Your daughter got very excited.
She got extremely excited. At the time, that same stylist was working with Rita Ora, and Rita Ora and Cara Delevingne were very friendly at the time, and the stylist had pulled a kind of baseball silky kind of bomber jacket that I'd created, and had pulled it for Rita Ora, who I think was performing at Glastonbury that year, and Cara Delevingne basically showed up in the jacket instead of Rita Ora, which I was delighted.
Absolutely, yeah.
We were absolutely snowed under with requests the following day from all over the world. I mean, it was just for days and days. We just spent hours and hours just replying to emails and really quickly trying to basically deliver on the orders, and begging my bank manager to basically give a very small overdraft, but which is fun, especially in the industry I'm in. But it was fantastic. The power of that one person wearing your clothing was incredible.
Of course, I would only imagine. Well, kudos to you, Helen, of course, because your collections are absolutely amazing. And speaking about that, let's finish off with a little bit more from your collection here at Dunnes Stores. And you can see the full collection from Helen Steele at Dunnes Stores nationwide by logging on to dunnestores.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to The Edit. You can catch the show every week on thestyleedit.com and lisacannon.ie and glamdoll.ie. Well, that's it from us here for another week, but coming up on next week's show, we have an exclusive chat with the fashion designer to the Love Islanders, Eamon Gill, who not only dresses celebrities such as Maura Higgins and Molly May Hague, Eamon has brought out an underwear collection to rival Kim Kardashian. He's set to strike a chord with all of us who love our magic pants. Well, I can't wait for that. And Gordon, who's going to be back on the sofa giving his thoughts on more movie recommendations. So till then, from me, Lisa Cannon, and all of us here on The Edit, we'll catch you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye. The Edit, brought to you by Glam Doll, bringing Hollywood home.